Alright, hello everyone and welcome to today's Gems of War video. In this video I have for you my scouting report for Hellcrag week, which will begin on April 8th, 2024. You see Hellcrag right there on the map. It's kind of on the eastern border. You know where Broken Spire is? Just look east of that to the border and you'll probably spot it. Or if you know where Blighted Lands is, just... So, Hellcrag is a fire kingdom and it has an armor bonus. It's probably not going to be near the top of your list to bring to level 20, but not to each their own, I suppose. Now, I did get a comment that I should include whether or not it makes sense for the Kingdom of the Week to be your home kingdom. And there is a couple ways to go about answering that question. First answer is, if you want to know what the meta answer is, what kingdom should be your home kingdom, the answer is Whitehelm right up here, because Whitehelm gives you a pure glory bonus and doesn't give you anything else, but it can be a really good source for glory if you really need it, and you can convert glory directly to souls, and gold is somewhat easier to come by than the other two. So that is the correct meta answer, but I will answer the question for this. Overall, my recommendation is, if you're having trouble getting all of your resources, then go for Whitehelm, and once you have plenty of resources, then represent whichever kingdom you want. That's my answer. But if you want me to go by the numbers, then, well, here's the numbers for Hellcrag. Overall, if I'm going based on the base numbers for gold, glory, and souls, gold and glory are pretty low compared to a lot of the other kingdoms. Souls are tied for second, along with a couple others. Although, if you want the most souls for your home kingdom, then it's going to be Kitar, of course. And some of the other ones it's tied for in second place are going to have a higher overall maximum power than Hellcrag. Hellcrag's maximum power right now is 16, and it's only going to go to 17 during Hellcrag week. So it's really not, by the numbers, a good option to make your home kingdom. But if you like Hellcrag and you want to be your home kingdom, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Like I said, it doesn't really matter too much. Just make your home kingdom whichever kingdom you like the best. So what do we get in Hellcrag? We typically get constructs. Almost all of them are constructs. A lot of them are constructs and demons. So you'll get that synergy. The arcane trait stone is the lava trait stone again. So it's again just like last time. Roshnak, Cinemirage, and Urskaya, you'll be able to get the lava trait stone from there during Hellcrag week, and you'll be good to go. So anyway, like I said, power level, maximum power level is 16 right now. Is only going to go to 17. So it's not really shouldn't really be a priority to worry too much as far as getting it to something like that. If you got it to 10, you're probably good to work on other power. Okay, so the core 4 is going to be a little bit challenging this time. I'm assuming that they're not going to change the 4 troops for the epic trials. However, this is going to be different than when I played, because back when I played it, Chalcedony was a busted troop. Now she is a busted troop in the wrong way, because they changed her spell so that she doesn't create tons of brown gems anymore. But that said, these are the 4 that we have. I don't think they'll change it. If they do, I'd be surprised, but I'll watch and see. But this would be the order I'd put them in. Knowing what Chalcedony is now, we'd start with the Craghound. Craghound is an ultra rare striker, deals damage to 2 random enemies, then creates 3 evil gargoyle gems. Does have a reduction of damage from skulls by 50% and a couple other things. Then we have Chalcedony, epic striker, does damage to just 1 enemy, then creates brown gems boosted by construct allies. Um, Reduces damage from skulls by 50% as well, and then can summon a stone. What's it? I don't know how to pronounce it. I should have thought of that before I started recording, but I'm not going to. Not going to go back on it right now. So, Petrified Golem explodes 1 gem, barriers a random ally for each brown gem destroyed. So you can kind of use Petrified Golem to give your team a little bit of extra defense. Also reduces damage from skulls by 50%, although once you're in spot number 3, that becomes less of a concern, or less of something to think about. And then we finally have Chernobog. Chernobog is a legendary defender, creates 10 brown gems and explodes a bunch of gems. And the most important thing about Chernobog is it conjures a dust storm when your turn begins. So that basically creates a perpetual dust storm, which is good because all 4 of your troops are going to use brown mana. And Chernobog is basically going to be a little bit more of your main mana source now that Chalcedony is who she is. Overall, what I would suggest is just use Craghound as much as you can. So it damages 2 random enemies. There's not much we can do about that. But then use Chalcedony to kind of augment put some more brown gems on the board, get Craghound back up. But then, as using her target, try to target the ones that Craghound has already damaged, so that you get those ones closer to gone. Then cast Petrified Golem whenever you can to get barriers. Hopefully you'll barrier Craghound. And then Chernobog, if you've got him up, you can just explode the board and hopefully get mana for your other 3. That would be how I would do it. And hopefully that's going to work. Let me know if it does. And meanwhile, let's take a look at the 4 more. Now, there aren't as many troops in Hellcrag as there normally would be, so I feel like some of my choices were scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit, but I think these are still pretty solid choices. So Morganite, yes, it was my first choice. She is an epic generator. She converts all green gems to brown. You probably noticed this. You use a lot of brown mana in Hellcrag, so converting to brown is going to help you out a lot. She also adds 3 more brown dragon gems on top of that, so you'd cast her whenever you know that converting green to brown is going to give you at least a 4 or 5 gem match. And then, yeah, Stone Skin is pretty much everywhere, but she has it as well. And then Herald of Torpor. Herald of Torpor is the troop that I believe is the quest giver for Hellcrag. It's been a while since I've done it, but he's the one that I thought was the one. So let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. He destroys a row and eliminates a certain amount of attack from the first 2 enemies. Yeah, which is pretty good usually. Wish I had him in the epic trials to be honest. He also the attack that he takes away is boosted by the purple gems that he destroys, and his armor is not as good as some of the other ones, so you might not want to put him in first place, but it's not like he is taking the attack, he's just simply eliminating it from the game. So then we have a legendary troop, Zenith. Zenith creates 5 Doom Skulls boosted by evil gargoyle gems on the board at a ratio of ×3. So every evil gargoyle gem on the board, he will create 3 more Doom Skulls. And then his third trait creates an evil gargoyle gem when matching 4 more gems. So that's going to put a lot of evil gargoyles on the board. Some of these other troops will also create either evil or good gargoyle gems as well. So you can use some of those in concert with them. If you want, don't really use the gargoyle gems that much, because it's just one of those things where you can put them on the board, and if you get unlucky and the other side cashes in, all of those evil gargoyle gems are now cursing your side of the board, making your life difficult. And all the good gargoyle gems that you put on the board are making it easier for the other side. And my recommended mythic / boss for Hellcrag is obviously going to be CT. CT kills an enemy outright, creates 6 cursed gems, 6 yellow giant gems, and 6 fairy fire gems. Gains 6 to all skill points when matching skulls, and is just a generally tough thing to deal with at the time. So, good one to get. It does cost 8 orbs of power to get him. So if you don't think you can afford him, you're looking to get to power level 10 faster than being able to save up for CT, then I would recommend looking for Tourmaline when Tourmaline shows up in the Soul Forge. Deals damage to all enemies. Damaging all enemies is usually pretty good. Drains 4 mana from all enemies, boosted by gargoyle gems at a ratio of ×3, and creates good gargoyle gems when matching 4 or more gems. So you can go that way. I would definitely take Tourmaline's damage to everyone over the Colossus's healing factor. If I was going for one of these, and CT's not enough. So that would be my recommendations for your 4 and 4 more for Hellcrag. So now let's take a look at the weapons. And since this is a fairly recently added kingdom, there aren't that many weapons to find. As of right now, there are 9 of them, and you only need 8 of them to be fully upgraded in order to get to power level 20 once that's possible. Keep in mind that it isn't. So keep in mind. So you're pretty much looking for 10, and then once you get to 10, just go up as you see fit. But what weapons are good that are good to have? Well, the highest on my list is obviously going to be the Watchful Blade. Watchful Blade deals damage to an enemy boosted by Hellcrag allies. Creates a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Hellcrag ally. And the upgrades aren't necessarily great, but you can get a random status effect applied to the first enemy with that last upgrade. So that can be somewhat useful. Not useful if the first enemy is immune to every status effect on the board, which does being the case sometimes. An honorable mention, I would say, would go to Stone Seeker. If you liked the weapon that we got in the last Journey event, then you'll like this one, because it deals damage to an enemy boosted by all brown allies and construct allies. You saw the Epic Trial team, right? Lots of brown allies, lots of construct allies. Nothing really good. Really, this isn't the one, but you get what I mean. Oh, there you go. So it also creates Dust Storm. Good if you don't have Chernobog on your team. Redundant if you do. Everything else is fine, I guess. And then let's take a look at the faction weapon. This is a faction weapon I do recommend that you get when we have the faction assault on Tuesday. This explodes a bunch of gems and summons an Obsidian Depths troop. That is the faction for Hellcrag. It has enchanting, which is my favorite upgrade. It does a bunch of other things, but this will basically help march troops into your empty slots, and exploding all those gems will keep all of your troops happy, casting their spells. So now, granted, using this appropriately does mean that you have to level up, trade up your Obsidian Depths troops. But if you've done that, then this is a pretty decent weapon to have. Will keep you out of trouble for everything except the epic trials. But anyway, let's move on from that. Talk about the class weapon. Not much to talk about this class weapon. Molten Dipper explodes a column, creates a gargoyle gem for each red or brown gem in the chosen column. It does a bunch of stuff. It creates a dust storm, which is probably not going to be that applicable since you'll probably be using Chernobog in a lot of Hellcrag teams. Overall, it's a missable weapon, but you'll get it anyway because you're going to get 250 wins using the Geomancer class, which I'm going to talk about next. And by the way, there are no doomed weapons in Hellcrag yet, but that will come in time. Okay, so Geomancer class. The biggest thing about the Geomancer class is going to be the third trait. The other traits are fine. You get that stone skin, which we've seen elsewhere. But infused stone, all construct allies start with 50% mana. You absolutely will want to trait this up if you're going to use it. Talent trees are okay. It's a good brown. It's got some good brown synergy. It's not the best brown class that's out there, but it's pretty good. And if you have a lot of constructs, mind that your guild guardians also count as constructs. Then this is a decent class to have. It's not, although I'm not going to say anything more about it. Donnie, I've already said too much about it. But let's take a quick look at the pets. Again, there aren't too many pets right now since it's a fairly recent kingdom. Your kingdom pet is the Hellcrag. So obviously you can get the Hellcrag through the regular pet rescues and the Starry Hellcrag for the epic trials. And if you're only going for, if you're just setting yourself up for power level 20, keep in mind that you only need 3 total pets and 2 of them maxed. So it might be just those 2. Gargoyle is a decent pet as well. Gives you a team bonus for constructs. Stone Thing, also a reasonable one to get. Will increase your Earth Gem Mastery. And then, of course, we've got Hot Rock. Hot Rock is the faction pet for the Obsidian Depths. And so now we're going to talk about the Obsidian Depths. Go to the underworld and we can see Obsidian Depths. It is closer to the center of the map than where Hellcrag is on the top side. Just look at the Fire Rift and look to the southeast and you'll see it right away. It is a purple-brown restriction, so no Tesla this time. As far as the troops and the kind of the overall strategy for this, a lot of these will create gargoyle gems. So the Onyx Gargoyle creates 1 to 2 random gargoyle gems as well as doing splash damage. The Sphinx jumbles the board, creates 2 stone blocks and 4 gargoyle gems. Also has Stone Link. Just putting that out there because I really like these link traits. But the legendary troop, Obsidiaxis, will do damage to all enemies, boosted by gargoyle and gems and stone blocks at a ratio of ×3. So and it also has a 30% chance to create evil gargoyle gems at the start of its turn. So that's pretty much the strategy is just create a bunch of gargoyle gems and then use obsidian axis to do cubic amounts of damage. Now I didn't cover the dark golem right away because I wanted to save that for last. Dark gargoyle, dark golem explodes a gem and then explodes a random gem for each skull destroyed. So you can use Dark Golem to hopefully get rid of some of the stone blocks and gargoyles if you do not want City Axis on the other side to proc right away. Now, if you the team on the other side will actually lead off with Dark Golem, then the Gargoyle, then Obsidian Axis, and then the Sphinx, which actually is probably not the best the best way to go about it. Obsidian Axis will have first crack at brown, but is blocked by both the Golem and the Gargoyle on purple. And if the AI keeps casting Dark Golem and inadvertently blowing up those stone blocks and gargoyles, it might actually get to a point where it will maybe even things out, so that if you have an obsidian axis closer to the start of your team, you can take more advantage of those. I'm just taking a guess because I really haven't gone too far with that, but I'm just guessing at how I would do it. I would basically put obsidian axis closer to the start, and if you want to, and then just add some chromite sphinx to add some more to the board so that you can, but then try to get these at the same time. Try to get the sphinx quickly. Try to get the sphinx on cast first, and then immediately cast obsidian axis so you can take advantage of all the gargoyle gems and stone blocks the sphinx created. Anyway, that was my best guess for Faction Assault. Please let me know how my guess worked, or how bad my guess was, depending. So, our guild event is going to be Invasion, and Invasion typically is a restriction based on troop type. Based on considering that this is Hellcrag, it is probably going to be a construct restriction. When I looked at the construct restrictions, I happened to notice that we already had two previous siege breakers that were constructs. So then I got to thinking, well, maybe it will be a demon restriction. Well, we've had two of those prior already, so as well. So a quick rundown of who the two previous construct siege breakers and two demon siege breakers that we've had before. Keep in mind that you can reuse these. The siege breaker trait in the is still going to work just as well as it did before, but the spell will not. The magic will not be doubled, so the spell will not do as much as the new siege breaker will. And of course, you need the new siege breaker on your team in order to double your score. So, however, with Invasion, you have options to add some more siege breakers to your team and just get things done. So, the previous construct siege breakers, the Blackfire Cannon from Draxum, does all that stuff. I'm not gonna go into all the details for each one. I'll just show it on the screen. The more recent one was the Bone Catapult from Golvania. Doesn't do as much, but it'll still work just fine. And then for the demons, we had Sir Mordain from Blighted Lands, and then we had the Iron Maiden, also from Blighted Lands. So if we do end up with a demon, which my money is on constructs, but if we do have a demon siege breaker, then we have two pair of Blighted Lands, and you get the idea. Anyway, if you want to check out these 4 and see if one of them is going to help you out. Keep in mind that it's most likely going to be one of these 2 that's going to help you out more so than these 2. And then just looking at these things, I would say the Blackfire Cannon, even though it's not a shiny troop, is probably going to perform a little bit better than the Bone Catapult. Seeing that the Blackfire Cannon's base magic is a little bit higher than the Cannon. So that's it. That's everything I got for you today. Yeah. Where's my intro? There it is. If you enjoyed this video or found it at least entertaining, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel and or follow me on Twitch. I'm experimenting with doing a live Gems of War stream on Twitch on Mondays. We'll see how it goes. I would be curious to know how many people actually want to watch someone play Gems of War live, but it might be fun. And in the comments below, let me know everything I got wrong, because I had to make so many guesses in this video. I'm guaranteed to have gotten at least something wrong. Right? Right. I'll see you in the next video.